Welcome to video 12, the final video in the series 12 guaranteed ways to create a disloyal, disengaged and disheartened team and watch your business die a slow, painful death. Today, I'm going to talk about how to have ineffective reflective action. Reflective action in my LPS teams model, I define as when you do the lessons learned at the end of a process or during a process, and then you actively take the good, the bad and the ugly, and you use that to change and adapt and improve your behaviors as an onward process. So how do you not do that? Well, first of all, don't even give time for lessons learned. So when you've just run a project or when you've been delivering a task as a team, make sure you don't give any time or space for people to give feedback or review the actions. And if you do that, you're pretty much guaranteed that you'll keep repeating the same mistakes. So make sure you keep, you might have had a marketing campaign and you realized you only got a 12% reward on it or a 12% response. Repeat that. If you're lucky, you might even be able to reduce that response to 10, 8, 7%. So you could even get worse. Sometimes honest, constructive feedback can feel a little bit awkward. So make sure you create a culture where the feedback is only nice, and you don't ever talk about areas for improvement or what didn't work because it feels awkward. So avoid it. Brush it under the carpet. Embed it inside, but make sure you never talk about it. Another way to create a really effective culture of not learning as a team is to only ever focus on the negatives, because truly successful teams, some of the teams that I've worked with over the years and helped, they also notice the bright spots. And rather than focusing on just what's wrong in a project, they notice what went really well and they figure out how they can exaggerate that or embed that even more effectively as they move forward. It's like if one salesperson is achieving the targets and the other 10 aren't, rather than focusing on the 10 that aren't, focus on the one that is and what is he or she doing so well and how can you share that. But we're here today to talk about how to not be effective, so ignore the success stories and only focus on the negatives and failures. If you only focus on the negatives as well, that will really bring down the emotional climate in the team and people will start to feel really low and pretty downbeaten. So that's a good way to dishearten people. And if you do find out some lessons learned, if you want to be really ineffective again and watch that business die a slow, painful death, then what you do is you don't act. So you've established that these are the 5 key learnings and then you dismiss them. And you make sure you don't put them into an action plan to improve your performance on the next project. Personally, in the LPS Teams model that I've been sharing globally for 20 years, we do the opposite of what I've talked about today. We help teams to be really effective at creating a healthy feedback culture. And then in the lessons learned, we make sure they're always put into a meaningful action plan where there's clear measures so that they can continue to grow and improve. But as always, it's a choice. So I'm off to help people and help teams have an effective reflective action policy that becomes an improvement, an ongoing quality improvement to their performance and behaviors. How about you?